Hello and welcome back to VLADdoodles. Today I'll be walking you through me attempting really hard to make a mini comic. So right here, what I'm doing is writing the comic. I know a lot of people who make comics tend to actually create a script. I'm not that guy. I will never be that guy. As much as I want to be that guy, I will never be that guy. I do it this way for a few reasons. One, it just kind of works better in my head, and I feel like it becomes a bit easier for me to write it out and understand kind of like what it will look like, the finished product. Two, it gives me like a major stepping stone to figuring out how I'm going to like put the panels on the page. Even if I do change it, it shows me like the flow, and also it kind of puts into like my head of like how many words I should be able to put on that page and like how we'll read. I think for me when making a comic, it's more important that like it reads well without needing words, if that makes any sense, because I'm like, it is more of like a visual media rather than like an actual book, even though it is a book. And you know, depending on your style of comics and blah blah blah, sometimes you do depend on that. But me personally, if I could, I guess I could if I really wanted to, but I love comics where it's like basically no words, maybe some sound effects, but like the entire thing is like super clear just based off the drawings itself. You can infer what's happening. So next up, I'm cutting down some Bristol paper to make or use for like the panels and like actual pages of the comic. I had considered doing the comic digitally and inking everything digitally, but my main beef with that is that I haven't actually figured out how to make like good line art like digitally. Like I don't know, there's like a flavor that goes missing the moment I try to digitally ink anything, and I think a lot of people also preferred if I would have done it traditionally. Also, I feel like I'm a lot faster inking traditionally than digitally, and I get a lot more things done. So I went with that, and also it's more fun for me to do it that way. So I did. We're gonna skip by that later because I'll explain when we get to the end, but unfortunately I left out a big part of that inking process in this, and I'll talk about it in a second. But here, this is my first time using like good watercolor paper. I've used watercolor paper in the past, but nothing like this. This is the Meeden like rough paper, I think, or something like that. It was insane. For one, the way the colors went down on like watercolor paper was insane. Like it was actually crazy. Seeing how the colors like dried and went down. It also took so much longer to dry on some places, and the fact that it wasn't really warping as much, or just like the texture and like having to blend it out. Like some things, I don't know. It was just a different experience. I'm so used to using like my like crappy sketchbooks or like Bristol paper or whatever for like creating watercolor or gouache paintings that I felt so lost like trying to figure out how to make like how to do this. Eventually I was like layers, 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 and I did get the hang of it, but I don't know, it was really fun. I have an entire pad of this paper, so you know, eventually we will be going back to this. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of me doing this for a while. I did try to include a lot of like real time drawing because, of course, I don't have much time to like actually film things, and so I don't know, it gets more bang for my buck of filming. I can just, you know, real time it. Also, I feel like real time's kind of nice. You get to see how I'm doing things and how I'm putting things down or blending things out, and a bit more my process. It feels a bit more like, I don't know, I get to watch me make it instead of it just appearing on the page. I guess we'll talk about other stuff for a second. Like, what is the premise of the comic? I know some people are wondering. Also, some people are probably wondering what happened to my other comic. The other comic that I want to create, I still want to create it, but I wanted to do something fun first. Let me explain. So, if you've been watching my other videos, or if you've like in the past few years have heard me talking about my characters for my Evo or Evolution comic, you know that like it's kind of a big thing. It's a full world full of lore and like a million characters and a bunch of designs and a bunch of like I don't know, like like its own, it's literally its own universe and its own like planet and stuff like that. And that's a lot of work, especially for someone like me who typically does not write anything down. I've had to like go out of my comfort zone with that comic and actually try doing that though. And I just kind of know that even when I start it, when I feel like I'm good enough to create it and like I'm at the level, like inking wise, art wise, whatever, to make it and put it out there, I want to make multiple of them. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to just make one or two. Like I want it to be like a bit of a series because I do want it to kind of build and do whatever and become its own thing, but that's going to take time. And I feel like if you are an artist or creative of any type and you make anything, sometimes you get, especially when you're new to something, even when it comes to like art, when it comes to comics, when it comes to painting or music or engineering, you have like this little phase of wanting to make something and craft something completely new. And like you kind of refuse to take inspiration from things. Or if you do make something new, you kind of just like want it to be its own thing. Like you don't, you kind of in this weird loop of like, I can't take, take any inspiration from this or this or this and blah, blah, blah. And or like it has to be original, and that's really not a great way of thinking, especially because I feel I got to a point where I was like, I need everything to be a twist or a turn or something, like it can't end normally, you can't do, and which is fine, but it has to come naturally. Like it, if you're forcing something, it always will feel forced to the audience. And so with something like a comic, it's important how the audience feels because their interpretation of what they're reading changes the story, right? Like it changes it dramatically, no matter what I draw there, what I write, or what notes I put in the prologue or something. It will change the story if it's written in a certain way and drawn out a certain way. Because they're perceiving it that way. And I got like a weird kind of loop where I'm like, I can't have any cliches or whatever. And I was like, I don't want to really be compared to these other people and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, that's kind of stupid. You're fucking dumb. What are you doing? And so I was like, take a step back from the comic you love so much because it's stressing you out and try something else. And so I'm making this mini comic. It's like a cliche horror comedy slice of life kind of thing. It's simple, it's easy, super simple concept, which the concept is like jobless man moves from big city to small city, gets like, I don't know, starts working for this eldritch creature thing that eats humans to survive, and then has his own little small butcher business on the side that was gifted to him by the monster for his, sacrifice, I guess. And just like shenanigans are going by, and like obviously a bit of like mystery stuff and like some horror elements because horror creature, but I don't know, it's like inspired by other stuff, and I'm letting it kind of do that and be that. Which, if you're making a comic or making anything, allow yourself to take inspiration or allow yourself to like be okay with that, because I feel like even when you take inspiration from things or like your favorite shows and stuff like that, even if an OC starts off to be from something else, over time and over, you becoming a different person or loving this thing, it becomes its own thing, it becomes original. You headcanon things, you add things to the lore, you change its outfits, its appearances, and so it will eventually become completely yours, whether you want it to or not. And that's nice. Also, really quick, to every artist on this app and on every platform who showed cool aesthetic videos of you taking off that paper from these kind of palettes simply and cleanly, you're a liar. This was so hard, and I left in all of my struggle so everyone can see the truth at home. Maybe I'm an idiot, but like I did the exact thing that every other artist out there been doing. And look at my struggle. But I gotta get it off though. I did get it off eventually. Minimal warping. I did so many layers. I love the layers. I love the texture. It's super nice. Oh, and here we are with the inking. So I did try to use, so for the original first page, which I will show at the end of this video, I did use just my dip pen, like my, my G-nib dip pen, and like a brush for like to fill in like the black. But for this one, I did try to use like my other like pens and everything like that. It ended up fine. It's not finished yet. I do not finish it in this video. I might make a full video of me just inking, but how I plan to do all the inking was take the Bristol paper, cut it in half, ink everything, mainly with my dip pen, maybe try mixing it up with other pens for different parts, for like line quality and fun in the comic, a bit of difference every page, and then digitally add screen tones and stuff like that, which I did do. I also will not be showing that result in this. I don't know. Mainly not showing results in this because I do hope to get these comic pages out within like the next like week or two. So it's not really a point of me showing that until later on or like another video. The next video I make, hopefully it's related to this. It has to be like one of three things. Either like me inking, me doing all the screen tones, me, I don't know, doing something that involves this. Maybe a lore video, but I feel like it's not really necessary because I'm putting out all of this stuff. I still have to make a bunch of character sheets, mainly for the main three characters. There's like three characters are like the main characters of this entire thing, but there's some side characters who need like some simple sheets, stuff like that. If I'm not working on this, honestly, I probably will just be doing sketchbook stuff. Work has hindered me from doing anything fun in my sketchbook or really using my sketchbook, so I might just focus on that for a little bit and put this on the sidelines just until I finish that one and start a new one, because I'm starting to get kind of tired of the sketchbook because I see it every single day, but I can't really do anything in it or finish it because I am so busy constantly. So, yeah. I also, if I finish it, I get to do another sketchbook tour, which would be some nice filler in between me not being able to do anything. And I'm like halfway done with it. And if I had time, like I would usually be done with it by now, but working a full-time job and I live in America and hate working. Love being able to pay my rent and feed all my cats. So that's really nice. So yeah, I don't know. Comment things down below. Ask questions if you want. I'll answer about things. If you want for certain things, I can make a video about it. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm sorry. If like all of those audios like super crazy or like really bad, like I literally got off of work a few hours ago and I'm so tired and in so much pain, and I have to get up in a few hours to go back to work because I work like the next like 5-6 days in a row. So I don't know. I'm trying to get this out here for something because I feel like I have not been posting anything or making anything or active really online. And so I feel like I'm abandoning everyone. I'm not. I am alive. I am here. It's just, I have just been so busy constantly. And it's life, sadly and annoyingly. Oh, here's my little folder. We're coming to the end of the video, and here's the first page that I inked. I did ink it on live stream, so I have no footage of me actually inking it, but there it is. And in the meantime, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope this kind of encourages you to kind of take a bit of a jump and make a fun short comic for yourself. It doesn't have to be detailed or anything, but yeah. I don't know. Have fun. Thanks for have a great day.